You can see, you must have seen that we are using the GL at multiple places, right?
GL, right?
Okay, so we should know how to create the GL. Okay, that is point number one. At the same time, there's some code by which you should be able to see what is the the fiscal year, what is the chart of account available in your company. Okay,
Okay.
okay, this is something which we are going to discuss today. Apart from that, GST, because you already have seen that we are also using the GST at multiple
Yeah.
places. So we are going to discuss that part. So that is the agenda for today. Clear?
Okay.
Okay.
GST and GT.
GL,
GL, sorry.
yeah,
G.
GL, GST, these two topics we are going to cover. So
Okay.
first thing which we are going to start with OBY6. Okay, this is the universal parameter mapping T code for the finance guy. OBY6.
Okay.
If I'm going to open this T code, then all the company code will be there. But let's say my company is CJM2. So I will be able to see in my company what is map in my company. Okay, what is map, like what currency, what company, what chart of account, what fiscal year. Fiscal year is a financial year. Okay, what financial year we have mapped, what language is there, what field is status, posting period variant, even controlling area is activated or not. Controlling area will show that profit center, cost center are activated or not. Okay, so as a procurement guy, mostly you should be aware about the cost center. Okay, cost center is something, the whenever we are going to do the procurement, then cost center should be tagged so that the associated expense can be calculated. Okay, all the expenses will be tagged to the cost center. Okay, so this
Okay.
controlling area, if this will be activated, then either you can directly create the cost center, or that means cost center is already being created in your company. Okay,
All.
clear? Even if you
Yes.
remember, in case of one of the procurement, I believe blanket procurement, we have used the cost center once.
Yeah, in blanket or
Yeah, we use that. Okay, so you can also check in your company cost center is there or not. It doesn't matter either you are using Oracle ERP, SAP, or your Microsoft Dynamics. Cost center, profit center, these will always there. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so cost center is something which is going to showcase the expense. That means whenever we are going to do the transaction, then my cost center will be map.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, so you are going to see this term multiple times, cost center. Okay. Now, second thing which we are going to study, the GL. FS00 is the T code. Okay, where I can see the my all the GL which are already being created. I believe my screen is visible.
Yeah, yeah.
Let me switch the company. Okay, this is the icon by which I can switch the company. Right now it is company 2004. Okay, company code 2004. We can see that. Okay, so if
Okay.
I'm going to switch it, my company is CJM2. Ideally, if you have copied your company from a particular company code, then you should be able to see something. Okay, you should be able to see some GL there in asset, expenses, liability, revenue. Those usually these are the four categories we have in finance: asset, expense, liability, revenue. Okay, so these are the GL which are already being created in my company. Okay, if I want to see one of the GL, then I can see these. This is the tax GL. Okay, if
Yeah.
I talk about tax, then there are two type of taxes we have: direct and indirect taxes. Correct? Right? Okay. Okay. Before proceeding to tax, let me show you how we can create a GL. Okay. For example, utility mix expense GL. If I want to create a GL, okay. First, what I need, let me put it in bottom. No sure. There should be an option to hide it as well. Yeah. Let me open a new session. The first thing what I'm going to do, okay, I'm going to check my chart of account. Bag is my chart of account. Chart of account shows the categorization of GL. Okay, like asset, expenses, liability. So first I'll go to SPRO, reference IMG, financial accounting, global setting, ledgers, fiscal year and posting period. Yeah, not fiscal year, sorry, my bad. Not in ledger. It should come in, yeah, general ledger accounting. In general ledger accounting, master data, GL account. Okay, GL preparation, define account group. Okay, so here I'm going to fetch with my chart of account bag. So I can see for five GLs are assigned there: asset, expenses, liability, revenue, secondary cost. Okay, these five categories has been assigned, and this is the corresponding number range. Okay, that means in asset my GL should be between this to this only. Okay, for example, now if I'm going to create a new GL, let's say revenue GL. Okay,
Hmm.
for revenue GL my number range should be for something 2 4
Yeah.
5 times 9. Okay, so if I'm going to create, this is the create icon, a GL for revenue, then I'm going to pick in this way. Okay, okay, it is already been created because this chart of account is used by the multiple company. So let me do, because any number I can pick between this range. So I'll try with
Oh,
another. It is already been created, so that means I'm going to use 19 this time. Yeah, it is blank. Okay, so first I'm going to select this one, GL account type. In case of revenue and expense, it will be primary cost or revenue. In case of asset and liability, it will be balance sheet. So it will be primary cost and revenue. Okay, now I'm going to select the revenue. These are the five categories which I have assigned there. Okay,
okay.
okay, if instead of revenue, if I'm going to select something else, let's say asset, then system will throw me the error that for asset the number range is from this to this, right? For expense, number range is this to this. Okay, because the number which I have picked, that comes under the revenue, that I have assigned under the revenue. Clear?
Okay.
So let's say my revenue is, let's say, sales of good. That means sales of FG. On the basis of that, my revenue is generating. Let's say this is my GL. Okay. Then the next step, control data. In control data, account currency, whatever local currency is there, which you have defined at the time of company code creation, and sort key 001. Okay. Yeah. CLM category as well. Cost relevant category. If your controlling area or cost center is there, then only this field will be visible. Okay, this is revenue, so I'm going to select the revenue, else I'm going to select this primary cost. Okay, and third one, field status group, whatever value is available in this drop down, I'm going to pick that one. All field option, that's it. Okay, save. That is how I can create the GL. Easy, you can see the GL has been created here, 4000.
Yeah.
Okay, that is how you can create the GL. Okay, clear? So in case, in finance we have a simple funda. Okay, whenever we are performing any activity, any operation, a GL will be there to store that accounting entry. So different type of GL will be there, we are going to store that. Okay, for example, in case of tax, okay, two type of taxes are there. So we are talking about indirect tax, which is GST. Okay,
Yeah.
indirect tax is something which we don't directly pay to the government. Okay, which we are going to pay to someone, and then he is going to pay to the government. For example, GST, right? GST,
Yeah.
VAT, service tax, etc., etc. So in GST, like I told you, that we are going to create a GL so that the corresponding data can be stored there. So in case of GST, we all are aware about it that we have three type of GST: CGST, SGST, IGST, right? Shashi,
Hmm.
do we have any query in that? Do I need to explain the difference between them? CGST, SGST, IGST, or it is clear?
Once you explain, bro.
Okay. Whenever we sell or procure the item within the state, then CGST and SGST will be applied.
Okay.
Okay. That means if 18% GST is there, na, that means 9% is CGST, which is central GST, and 9% will be the state GST.
Okay.
Even if you are going to purchase the item from the big bazaar in your local area, or if you are going to order some item from the restaurant, then CGST and SGST will be there. You can check the invoice,
Okay.
right? But if we are doing the interstate transaction, interstate selling, okay, that means you are selling, you are procuring or selling outside the state. In that scenario, only IGST will be applicable. Okay. So what I did, I have created the separate GL for the same. Okay, same with the help of same process. Okay. Balance sheet, asset. Actually, there are two type of GST. One of them is the input GST, another one is the output GST. If we are paying that to the vendor, then that means it will be the input GST. Okay. If we are paying the GST to the vendor, that will be the input GST. And if we are getting the GST from the customer, okay, then that will be the output GST, because input GST is something which we might can get at the time of return filing and all that, right? We will have the GST return now.
Yeah.
So that is why it comes under the account receivable, or I should say in asset. Okay, that tomorrow we are going to get that. That is why it comes under the asset. But if it will be the output GST, output tax, that means in case of customer, so it will be a liability for us. That means we will have to deposit that to the government account, right?
Okay.
Clear na? If we are paying that to the vendor, then it will be the asset. And if we are getting it from the customer, then it will be a liability. Liability is kind of liability, right?
Yeah.
We need to pay. Okay. And if we are taking the GST from someone, then we will have to deposit that to the government, right? So it will be a liability for us. Clear? Or if we are paying some GST, then yes, that will be deducted during my income tax return or GST return, right? So it will be the input GST. Okay. So what I did, I have created a separate GL for the CGST, SGST, IGST, so that corresponding data will be stored. Okay. So that was about the indirect tax. But if I'll talk about direct tax, the example of direct tax is a withholding tax, or I should say TDS. Any of the term you can use, right? TDS, I believe you guys have heard about it. TDS.
TDS.
TDS, tax deducted at source.
Yeah.
Okay. Shashi, have you
Ah,
ever heard about it? TDS.
yeah.
For example, if you are working somewhere on salary, then the company is going to deduct, if you are in tax criteria as per the government. Okay, then company is going to deduct some TDC, and then they are going to pay you. Correct.
Yeah.
Similarly, for the contractor as well, if we are paying to the vendor, okay, if we are paying to the vendor, then it could be a contractor rent we are paying, then some TDS we can deduct. Okay. Different section like 194I, 194C, these are available. So that means in case of TDS, you are going to deduct the TDS. Okay. So that will be your liability. So you will have to create the GL for the TDS as well, if you are deducting the TDS. Okay. But right now we are talking about GST only, and in our maximum scenario only, GST will be involved. Of course, you will be able to see TDS somewhere as well. So we will discuss that configuration on that stage only. Okay. So right now we will focus on this CGST and SGST. Clear?
Okay.
Right.
Okay. So first thing which you need to check during the GST is your accounting procedure. Okay. Again, it's a part of finance, hence will come in financial accounting. Global setting, tax on sales purchase. Okay. GST is nothing but the tax on sales purchase only. Basic setting. First, we are going to check our basic setting. Assign country, that in our country which particular procedure is assigned. If someone is going to change this procedure now, then it is going to impact all the company which are available in at this particular client. Okay, so I can see the procedure is SOSL. SOSL is a procedure which is assigned. Again, the configuration is something which is expected by the finance guy. How to create the procedure to assign the percentage and all that. Right? Now we are
Okay.
going to check the calculation procedure. SOSL was the procedure. Okay. SOSL control data. So here I can see some account keys are assigned. Okay. Usually for input we have used I. Okay. I means input and C means is city central. As J, so that means JIC is input central, input state, input IGST. Clear?
Yeah.
So these three account keys are available. Similarly, we should be having JOC. That should be there. Yeah, here for output, OP is the output. JOCG, G means GST. Okay, JOCG, JOSG, C means central, S means state, I means integrated. Okay, clear?
You're right.
JOC, JOS, JOI. You will get these ID. Okay, finance guy is going to create it for you. Okay, so now what I need to do, I need to map the GL on these account key. How I'm going to do that? For that we have a T code called as, first is FTXP to design the text code, FTXP. Okay, your country is IN. Again, if someone is going to change the procedure, it will be impacted to all the companies. Okay, so first you need to check whatever procedure is assigned to your country. Okay, accordingly you will be able to see the account key. Okay, let's say my T code is my text code is V1. Okay, V1, and I have assigned design, let's say 12% GST. It's a two-digit code V1, and I have assigned it for the 12%. Okay, 12% CGST as GST. That means 6% will be for the central GST, 6% for the state GST. This is something which I have maintained. Okay,
Right.
and where I have maintained it for JIC and JIS. Right?
Yeah.
Remember, na, this is something we these are the account key which we have checked. Okay, right now we are talking about CGST and IGST only. Okay, but at the same time, if we want to incorporate it for the IGST as well, let's say 12% IGST, and I'm going to give the name, let's say VI. Enter. Okay, then it means I'm going to give the description 12%. This time instead of CGST and IGST, it will be IGST instead of CGST and SGST, right?
Yeah.
Now text type, okay. Usually V for input and I for output. Oh, sorry, A for output. That is why I have selected V. Okay. V means input. So that's it. That is how my text code will be created. Now I need to define the definition as well. Okay. 12% directly. Deactivate this line. deactivate. Great. Okay. So only 12% this is there. Okay. Now the second, let me save it first. VI. Let me try to reopen it. So I can directly reopen it. So I have mapped it with the JII. If I'm going to configure it for the customer, that means for the output GST, then I'm going to put these percentage in front of JOC, JOS, JOI. Clear?
Yeah.
Now since I have the credited the tax type, the next type is the tax account. Sorry, next step will be a tax account. Tax account means I'm going to select my chart of account and I'm going to map the GL. Okay. Okay, GL is already mapped. How to map it? It is non-editable from here. So what I'm going to do again, second T code OB40. So first I'm going to check with this is the account key. Okay. JIC, then JIC, JIC, JC, JC, JIC was there, JIOS is there, and JII, right? GHI, I need to check in J. Yeah, J. JIC for central GST. So I'm going to click here, my chart of account, and I'm going to map my GL. Okay, this is the same GL which you can see I have. Let me reopen it. Okay. This one. For input GST, this GL I have created. So that means if GST will be deducted, then it will be displayed here. Okay.
Right.
Central GST. For state GST, JIS, this one. This one. 1004. Similarly for IGST as well. There should be IGST as well. JII. Okay. Yeah.
JIM.
JII.
JIL.
Right. Input integrated. First I is for input, another I was integrated. So GL is already mapped. Okay. What I did, if I want, I can change my rule as well. Okay. Sometimes, for example, if I want to do, I on the basis of tax, I can select the different GL as well. That means for 18% separate GL, for 12% separate GL, right? If I want, I can do that as well. But what I did, I have assigned a single tax account for all the tax code. Okay, clear? But I did bifurcate it on the basis of CGST, HGST, and IGST. Clear? Clear? Or do we have any query? Hello.
Clear.
Now I'll check if these tax code are working. That is the only configuration we have for GST. Okay. Let's.
Okay.
I'm going to open the direct invoice instead of, or if you want, you can use the Miro. Okay. Let me check the company code first. It should be CJM, right? Let me pick one of the vendor. We already aware about the vendor, how to create that. We already have created that, right?
Hmm.
One more thing before proceeding further. Okay. Whatever GL you are going to use, that should also be GST tax enabled. How we are going to enable it? In control data, we have the option here, all tax type allowed. Okay. If I want, I can maintain my GL for the different for the input or for the output tax as well, or for the on the basis of different taxes as well. But usually we pick all type of tax allowed. Okay. Clear? So that is why star is there. Okay. So we have to enable the GL. Okay. Keep it blank. Okay. Let me pick one of the GL. The enable which is tax enabled. The GL which is tax enabled, right? What was this? Makes if it is not tax enabled, then GST will not be applicable here. Let's say I have given some amount, 1,000 rupees. Okay. Cost center I need to map here. Yeah. Tax code. I believe it was in case of uh, what was the tax code? V V1, I believe. V1 was there, right? Or VI. Both are there. Okay. Now
Sir,
I
I
need.
can't see your screen.
Is that so? I was
Yeah,
explaining.
now it's clear.
Shashi, it was visible to you?
Yeah, it is visible.
Okay. Okay. Because I was explaining using the screen sharing only from from a very first point, right? Okay. So this tick box I'll have to click. Okay. Check box. Okay. Now I'm going to simulate it. Tax category tax account wrong. CGM to 1003. Ignore. Now I can see my CGST and SGST has been calculated automatically, right? I believe 12% was there and
Yeah,
6% CGST and
six
this
six
was there.
percent.
Yes. Okay. If instead of that, if I'm going to select, there was one more tax. Let's say it is manually, I'm going to select it. Either it is CGST or IGST. Let's say instead of this, I believe VI have maintained it. VI na? I'm
Hmm.
not sure. But let's check. That means only IGST, which is 120 rupees directly. Correct?
Yes.
Easy. So if that tax configuration is available, then you can easily map the tax. So this is the only configuration we have for GST. What we did, we checked the procedure. Okay. That which procedure is mapped with our country. Then what we did to our country, we check what are the accounting keys, are the account keys are available in that particular procedure. And then what we did, we just created the tax code and mapped the GL on at those account key. Okay, you can see the IGST, this GL from where the system is picking it automatically. This is process is called as account determination. That means my GL will be picked automatically from the configuration. Okay, this is what we did. Easy.
Yes.
Now, if you have the clear concept, so if you will face the issue related to cost center, related to tax code, either it is a blanket PO or any other type of PO or the invoice, okay, then you can easily resolve that, right? Or you will be able to at least understand the concept, right?
Right, sir.
Okay, so it will make your practice smooth. Okay. Okay, guys, that was the agenda for today. We have completed how to create the GL, and we have discussed how this GST will be configured. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. From tomorrow session, we will try to cover our release strategy and pricing procedure, either of them or both of them. Okay. Tomorrow same time. Okay, guys.
Yeah.
Sir, tomorrow at what time class is it?
Same time.
10 o'clock.
Yeah, it will be at same time from now onwards. If any exception is there due to like my office work, we are going to skip one of the day, but we are going to have the session on a regular basis from now on. Okay. so that we can
Okay.
cover it in as soon as possible.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, guys, that's it from my side for today. Thank you. Do we have any query?
No, no.
Easy, Sashi? Or it
Yeah,
want to be
okay. Yeah, once we
complicated?
start practicing, we'll come to know. But they are not sending the recordings only.
What I can comment, I believe Ravi can comment on that.
Actually, I'm asking every day. They are sending it, telling okay, 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 but they are not sending the recordings.
I'm sorry, this is not in my hand. I really do apologize. Ravi is aware about it. Okay, so but you will have to coordinate with them only. Okay,
Okay, okay. We'll ask them again.
whatever is available here, I usually the put the give the recording just after the session. Okay,
Okay.
no worries. That's it from my side for today. Thank you very much. See you tomorrow at same time. Okay.
Yeah. Thank you, sir.
Okay.